Let's get into our redemption. So every week we are going to redeem a quote unquote bad film.
Bad film.
Yeah.
Bad film.
And the metrics for the next film. Let's see. Do I have them up?
Whoa,
Okay,
this should be
so okay.
It's got a 5.2 rating on IMDb.
On Rotten Tomatoes, I believe it's 17%.
It came out last year in 2019.
good.
You
Fuck,
may
did
have
it get
missed
a
it.
5.2?
I don't know how you missed
Sorry.
it. Nobody knew this movie came out last year.
So
That's really the worst part about it.
the movie is Hellboy.
Hellboy.
Now, here's the thing, really quick. There was a Hellboy in 2004 starring Ron Perlman. Also,
That was
shout
great.
Shout out John Hurt and Selma Blair. 81%. It had a sequel, Hellboy 2, The Golden Army.
That was not.
2008 has an 86% on Rotten Tomatoes. So, fair to say, critically successful first series.
Guillermo del
2004
Toro did those, right?
and
He did.
2008. 10 years later, well, 11, in 2019, we decide that the guy from Stranger Things, the only adult male, David Harbour, should be Hellboy, and it has a 17%. What the fuck happened, Dave?
What the fuck happened indeed?
So this is based off of comics. Do you know the comics?
I do not. No.
Okay.
I never read Hellboy. I must say, though, David Harbour looked great. Like,
David
the makeup
Harbour, yeah.
team, that was, like, I'm pretty sure all practical,
Mm-hmm.
or mostly practical. He looked phenomenal as the character.
I feel like he really did his homework too. I'm just gonna go ahead and say
Wasn't really given a lot to work with.
no. This is maybe the worst script to ever be put. Thank you, Dave. This is maybe the
All
worst
right,
script
let's
to
just
ever be-
fucking lean into this. All right, because I've seen the first two as well. Watched this one recently. I think the problem with Hellboy is baked in to Hellboy the character. Nobody knows what to think of Hellboy. It's just, I have a feeling, because I've never read it either. I have a feeling it was an easier read to digest than it is as a movie. I've seen all three of these movies now, and I'm not sure how we're supposed to feel about Hellboy. These movies don't have a point of view. That's the problem. I'm just not quite sure what we're supposed to think.
I actually think this
about
one did. It was
Hellboy.
just so much reverie that it was like off-putting in a way. You know what I mean? It was just
That's what I'm saying.
They wanted him to seem like your best friend who doesn't want to be like the
mean,
devil reincarnated or whatever.
The
Like-
thing that really pissed me off was I can't pinpoint exactly why it was so bad. Even its flaws didn't fit together.
I know it's supposed to be fun. This movie's supposed to
yeah.
be fun. He comes back from the underworld, and also they're trying so hard with the jokes. They're trying so hard with all the jokes.
There was some zinger
That's what I'm
one-liners.
saying. though. Why would you try that hard with the jokes when you know the rest of your movie doesn't have a strong enough point of view that you're not sure how people are supposed to feel about anything, so you just want them to laugh?
I want to open this up. Okay, so we really thought this movie would be fun bad. We really did. We didn't come into this redemption sequence hoping to shit on a movie.
It's shot well. It's acted pretty well. It's like technically
be
there's
funny.
nothing terrible about
Okay,
it.
the opening line. Here's the opening line. It's a voiceover. and
God,
they
it's a
basically,
bad bro.
they do,
That
like,
exposition is
Here we go.
terrible.
So
I'm
this is a
trying to
narration.
God
Great.
damn it.
This is a narration. Here we go. This is it. Quote: "The year is 517 AD, known as the Dark Ages, and for good fucking reason."
Boo.
That is the opening voiceover of the movie. Also, you know that one of my biggest pet peeves in movies is when they take known characters in either literature or lore and they create a bullshit story that's fucking ridiculous. So like, thanks, it's amazing.
King Arthur is all up in
Yeah, they're
this
like,
story.
oh,
And
Merlin and
don't-
King Arthur. You think you know
what-
the story, but actually we're gonna exploit them for some weird, stupid, fucking convenient way for us.
Hellboy isn't interesting enough. Hellboy isn't interesting enough to stand on its own, so we have to use Arthurian lore to make it relatable.
Yeah, they're like Merlin and Arthur. They're like, oh, and Merlin might still be alive. He was buried alive because he was actually treacherous.
Everybody
And I was
drink
like,
for
oh,
5
fuck
seconds.
yourself.
This movie's a piece of shit.
ridiculous.
Stop, I can't bear to see you do this to yourself.
Oh my god, dude! And how much do you love Ian McShane? I love
Ian
that
McShane
guy.
in this movie.
I love him saying anything. So when I was watching this exposition, this intro scene to this movie, I was sitting there thinking, I can't wait to see Ian McShane on film. I hope he gets here sooner. And I'm so sorry that he has to be a part of this, because the intro to that movie could not have been a worse advertisement for how terrible this movie is going to be.
Okay, I listened to a really funny podcast. We're all about comparisons here on this podcast. I listened to a really funny interview with Eddie Murphy where they were basically like,
Dolomite!
they're basically like, Eddie, what do you think? Like, we feel bad, but what do you think about movies like Norbit, where you clearly paid a lot of money and the movies were bad? And he was like, any movie I made $20 million is a fucking hit in my house. I feel like with Ian McShane, and basically there are other times where it's like you could just tell this actor was like, wait, I can shoot in LA and I can go home at night, and all I have to do is read these shitty lines for like a month. Fuck it, I'm in. Can you imagine making $1 million to commute from home and like have your weekends off? Like if I'm Ian McShane, I'm sitting there and I was like, I know if this movie sucks, it's not my fault. So fuck it. Like, let's go.
Let's be clear. We're picking on it. I want to clarify. I am not picking on any of the performances. The woman who plays the witch is incredible.
There are some.
Baba Yaga.
She was giving it everything she had.
That was one of my
Djokovic?
favorite sequences, actually.
Mila Djokovic.
That's Mila?
Oh, that was Mila. Okay, no.
Djokovic, bro.
The Baba Yaga sequence with the
she was
house
cool.
on legs. That was actually the exteriors were great. I love
that
that.
woman was great too. What's her name? Penelope Mitchell? Ganaida? Is that her? Is that who we're talking about? The character? Ganaida? Was that her name? I can't remember. A creepy character. Unbelievable.
Mitchell,
there were so many. It was a good example of. All right. I'm about to lean into it, so you can tell her Jake if you want to.
Okay, go on a rant.
Spectacle-driven action movie hero films. This is why we don't give enough credit to the successful, good Marvel movies. This is not an easy genre to pull off and do it really well. Yeah, anyone can make one singular good action sequence. Anyone can make some crazy costumes and put a bunch of fucking CGI in a movie. It's hard to do an entire movie that is the backbone of it and do it well. This is a good example of what I'm talking about. The performances were strong. Nobody was bad in this. Moment to moment, I bet they thought they were making a good movie. I bet when they were filming this, they thought, we have a chance to make a good movie here. There's nothing that bad about this.
It felt like everyone felt like that.
Yeah. Did they read the dialogue? Did they read the lines?
That's what I'm saying. It was just there. It was just
fucking dang.
It was just the script. Every producer will tell you. Every director will tell you.
Dialogue was
you don't take a movie to greenlight unless the script is strong. I don't understand why they didn't. Jeff loved this movie, dude.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I love horseshit dialogue. You know what else I love? And I think most people at home love. So think about this. Maybe turn it into a drinking game if you're having a weird night. Anyway, some of the worst British accents to ever make it to the screen. I'm sorry. Daniel Day Kim, who you may know from Lost or Hawaii Five-0.
Yeah,
also,
is he American?
Millionaire, well
that?
known. That is one of the worst British accents to ever be on film.
I don't think he's British,
also,
right? I feel like he's...
And also the girl, I forget her name. She's going to be a huge star, I'm sure, someday. But she, like, those two British accents were like, it was basically like somebody gave them a cold read and said, oh no, they're supposed to be British. And they went, oh sure, I got a British in my back pocket. And they just like haven't done it in 2 months. And so it really felt, and also the line writing for British, they're like, oh, well, bollocks to you then, sir. Like, they clearly, like, it was an American writing it.
It is making me wonder if, because anyone who knows about this stuff, if you don't know about it, most of the major spectacle-driven films that are under the DC or the Marvel universe are being shot in studios outside of London. So there is a given British audience, and if you're ever going to go on location outside of the studios, a lot of times they're shooting in Britain and in different parts of the UK. So I think sometimes I feel like they feel like they have to make them be British to justify where they are. But again, look at what the Marvel movies do successfully and what the Star Wars movies do successfully. You don't have to be British to believably be shooting in a place that has gray overtones.
Jeez, I can't wait for the next two then, because they're shot in Australia.
Oh yeah,
good. God damn it!
G'day guys, you having a fucking fight?
Or like Paths of Glory, where it's shot in France.
Yeah.
It's in France, but none of them have American accents. Okay, wait, hold on a second. So to our film fans, this director Neil Marshall. So he did The Descent. I kind of like The Descent. Interesting movie. Guess what? It's about a bunch of girls that go splunking. They go cave diving, and it just so happens that cave that they're splunking in is door to the underworld, and these creatures from the underworld come and try to take them down. Very similar to what's going on in Hellboy, which we haven't even given you the plot. Honestly, it's not worth our time.
Was there one?
But here's the thing. So Neil Marshall, though, think about this. So I kind of thought, I was like, wait a second. He directed The Descent and then sold out. That makes total sense. He directed two of... God damn it. I was saying that was a preface to what I was about to say, asshole. You have to drink one of these fucking beers for you being an asshole.
Fucking trigger-happy
Australian motherfuckers. He's laughing so hard. He's trying to drink his like Cutter beer.
Drink it, bitch.
Anyway, so Neil Marshall, the director of this, directed two of the best and biggest set-piece Game of Thrones episodes. He directed Blackwater and Watchers on the Wall. Watchers on the Wall is all CGI. It's all the Night's Watch against the wildlings, including the giant sequence where
he
the guys
did an enormous episode of Hannibal, the Great Red Dragon, which is
yes,
a
Hannibal.
penultimate, I think.
Shout out to Mads Mikkelsen.
He did The Stray. That is, I think, is a penultimate episode of Westworld.
Fuck Westworld, but yeah, that's sure. That's
I
great.
love Westworld.
I know, yeah.
Westworld's job is to make you confused and fuck any show that
I'm
does
saying,
that.
well, so we'll
they
give it
don't
up to it.
want to
Clearly,
make
this
sense.
guy.
They don't have a point.
We're enough topic. Come here, bring
Clearly,
it back.
this
Bring it
guy
back.
is marketable. Clearly, he knows what he's doing.
Everybody watch Westworld.
So here's my question to you two. Because so John, you direct and write movies. Dave, you also direct and write movies, but you primarily have worked in post production and DPing work. Neil Marshall knows how to direct a good script. Blackwater, Watchers on the Wall, all the stuff we just talked about. Those are good scripts. Did he not know that this was a bad script? Like, I don't understand. Did he think that he could salvage this? Did he say, all we need is just whatever, like, all we need is some lines that connect the plot and then I'll do whatever. Like, what did he think when he was making this movie? Dave, you don't even think the effects were particularly good.
No.
So like if the movie, no, that's fine. So if his job is like, well, the effects, the lore of this character that nobody gives a shit about, that's enough. And then it's like he doesn't even pull that element off. What happened here? What fell apart?
I honestly can't tell you. Like I said, the only thing that saves this movie is there's one line of dialogue that saves this movie.
And it's only one line, only one. Which
Only
one?
one line of
It's the
dialogue.
one.
Which one? There's so many zingers.
She's pitching what she wants to do, and she wants to like take over the world, and he's like, "It's not gonna work. I'm a Capricorn, and you're fucking nuts."
Yes, it was so good.
Redeems the entire movie.
Again,
in my
the
opinion.
performances are strong, dude.
Yeah. All right.
I don't even know if we should watch. I'm not even
So-
going to tell you should watch this movie, but if you watch it, make sure you're nice and drunk or a little stoned. Get whatever you like to do. Don't watch this movie sober, but
Yeah,
watch
do
it.
not.
Enjoy yourself.
And you know what? Poor David Harbour, man. He needs something other
Yeah,
than Stranger Things.
I don't know.
He's good.
I
He's
mean,
a good
I wanna
actor. And Mila
promote this,
Djokovic deserve. I mean, she has money, so I'm not like anybody with money. I'm not like I don't feel bad for them when they cry to their like vacation home. But she really wanted this movie to be good. And Ian McShane, honestly, like you know what I mean? Like
So much style.
he sat there and Mila Djokovic wanted this to be good. Ian McShane didn't give a fuck if it was bad, and that's cool.